I know Andrew from the day he was born. He's been in the volleyball from a very young age. And I would say, 26 years ago, I know Andrew. Generous, friendly, outgoing, pretty much an all-around good person. From the time he actually went into high school, Andrew became very competitive and pretty much good at what he did, which he had very set up.
Basically, today the tournament is to honor Andrew Cassius, one of our brethren who's passed away way too young. And basically we're pulling from people from everywhere. Anybody who's ever come to Eastern Athletic Club to play with George Cassius and his family is here to compete and try and be crowned. Just completely honored. You know, I had the pleasure of coaching Andrew Cassius for 4 years through high school. We went to Louisville, Kentucky together to play in a national tournament. And you know, I just knew him since he was a little kid in here, hitting against the walls. And you know, to be here in his honor is brilliant. Yeah, he was a competitor. Last time he played this tournament, he beat me in the final game to win it all. So, little guy about this big, you know, I played professional volleyball, and he was fearless, and you know, he earned it. He outplayed me, and you know, it was awesome to see him win.
My brother was a very special person, not only as an athlete, but he was a leader both on the court and off. We actually have a scholarship going for him at Midwood High School, so the graduating seniors this year that play volleyball can win $1,000 in honor of Andrew and his accomplishments there. But even though he was competitive, I mean, he was always a team player. And you can ask any of the athletes out there today about Andrew's spirit and legacy on the court.
He was very quick and he was very well trained from an early age of every part of the game. Some people become specialists in spiking and blocking and serving. He had all of those attributes. He practiced from the time he was 5 years old. He also was the first young man at 9 years old to compete in a national event for men's, where he was playing in the men's division and won that division at 9.
One word to describe Andrew: tenacious.
Generous.
Just compassionate.
I'd definitely say leader, both on and off the court.
Nice tribute to Andrew Cassius, who was gone too soon. In a moment, we'll ask his father, cousin, and family friend to talk about what Andrew meant to the game of volleyball and to talk about where the game is headed. But first, what's volleyball all about? For more, check this out.
Well, volleyball, you know, for the time I've been playing volleyball, to me, volleyball is just a quick, fast, active game. You can't lose your eyes, take your eyes away from the ball. You have to be at all time. It's very quick. It's a very, especially in a competitive, high competitive, you have to be on time.
Sweat, it means breathing heavy. It's way more aerobic than regular volleyball. And, you know, it also means to me family, community. And the thing I like about it the most, I think, is that, you know, in regular volleyball, the athletes rule. And the bigger you are, right, the better a shot you have. But not in between these walls. So you got guys that you would look at and you would say, oh, there's no way this guy can win. And they win because there's a finesse aspect to the game. There's a, you know, a competence that many people come in here they don't have, and they kind of look funny. Like, so you could have an Olympic athlete come in here and just get destroyed by somebody who is unassuming and, you know, unathletic looking, but just has all the shots, and, you know, so it's a crafty kind of game.
Very exciting, very exciting. It's a very quick-paced game. It's so quick that you know, you have to stay active.
long rallies. You know, people just come up with these unbelievable plays. You know, the ball bounces 4 times off the wall and it comes over, and you know, there's different angles involved that are involved in regular volleyball. So, you know, for me, I play beach volleyball, I play indoor volleyball, and then to come here, you know, it just challenges you as an athlete to think about the sport in a different way.
First, I want to talk about Andrew Cassius and what he meant to this game of volleyball.
Andrew started playing volleyball at a young age of actually 4.5 with Yussi's son, and actually competed in volleyball when he was 12 years old at a national event in the men's division. He played with his sister, he played with Eric's son, and he also spent a lot of time playing with many of the friends that he had from volleyball. I have a shirt from Empire State Games where he played, and he was captain of the Empire State team, and he took all of those players and taught them all volleyball. So there's a whole other generation that Andrew brought into volleyball, whether it was the Empire State Games, whether it was his high school, Midwood High School, or traveling overseas. He actually was with me in Brazil when we did a clinic in a club called the BRIC. He did a clinic in Portugal, and he was the younger generation, the new face of volleyball.
Okay. Eric, also, what did he mean to the game of volleyball to you also, overall?
Well, Andrew, actually, I know Andrew from the time he was born. Andrew has been very competitive. You know, like Dad know, he plays soccer. You know, pretty much all kind of sports he was involved in, and getting more, you know, older when he started actually going to high school and getting more involved with the high school playing and also with the Eastern Athletic Club. Andrew has shown a great deal of competitive, you know, quickness. Just the game in general is very, very competitive.
Yasik?
Andrew played with me many years, including national at age 12 with other 2 players, and he just took over the whole court practically and did a wonderful job and still played volleyball and other sports just as good.
Also, these are some of the medals that were that he won over a period.
Yeah, the Garden Empire State Games, the Maccabee Games. He actually traveled to Buenos Aires, Argentina to represent the United States men, came back with a bronze. Beach volleyball, Junior Olympics, gold medalist, the same with his sister. Played indoor soccer. I mean, we can go on and on. The big thing I wanted to say is, in volleyball, a lot of the players have to be 6 foot and higher. He was only 5'8", and 2 years ago, he was king of the court, youngest player ever to win that event. And people had asked me, well, George, were you reffing at that time? And I really was not reffing. Actually, Mike Salick, which was his coach that he ended up playing against that last game, said no, he earned that win, period. That's it.
I want to switch the subject also about the game so far. Where is the game right now, volleyball? Is corporate America getting behind it, or where are we? As far as in terms of sponsorship?
We never have enough sponsorship in volleyball, and it's played all across the United States, growing from Florida to California to the Midwest, which is huge. Actually, tomorrow, Yossi Mayfeld is having an event at the Parks Department, and I'll let him talk about that.
We'll talk about that soon, but where do you feel the game is right now overall?
I think a lot of kids are getting into it, high school kids, and that's the best part of this game, that they're taking young kids in, and that's what we want to. We want to show the other
Are you looking
kids.
for for people who played volleyball to participate in volleyball?
Yeah, both.
At this point, we're pushing very hard to get this on the right track, having the younger generation come in and actually be able to participate and learn the game, the rules of the volleyball, and we're pushing.
Only thing I see with volleyball, correct me, as far as it's a great sport, but the court space is not available mostly to the general public. Say if I want to go to a rec league, I mean, you don't have racquetball courts at most of these rec centers, right?
Not enough.
Right.
Not enough.
And is that happening in Queens right now?
In Queens, we have 2 courts only, which is not enough, because I have a lot of people. I have 39 people, sometimes more, And it's just not
Where
enough.
in Queens? Because basically, from what I gather, you guys basically saved the sport in Queens to some degree.
Yes,
5 years
because
ago?
5 years ago I started a program with George Cassius. It's a wonderful place and they allow us, and it's in Flushing. They give us the 2 courts twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, 7 to 9:30. And just not enough. We have a lot of people. I wish we'll have more places to go and introduce this game.
A lot of the colleges have volleyball today, and it's a training ground for volleyball because the volleyball game helps the volleyball game. It makes you a better defensive player and offensive player. Going back to Andrew, Andrew was involved in coaching at the Kings Bay Y since 2003. He volunteered his time there. He volunteered his time at Eastern Athletic Club. He volunteered his time with camps. He was involved with camps in the summer, teaching how to be a setter and an all-around player. He spent a lot of time promoting the sport, not just volleyball and volleyball.
And you just held an event in his name, right? At Eastern Athletic Club about a couple of weeks ago.
For 31 years, we've been running the King of the Court, and this time we called it the Andrew J. Cassius Memorial King of the Court Volleyball Tournament, which will remain that way as long as we're here.
In the future of this game?
Well, the game of volleyball, like George mentioned, it's just an all-around preparation to.
Because in this game, you have to use your eyes, your elbows, your knees,
very active,
your head, a little bit of everything.
Very
you have
active.
to have real quick feet too.
Physically ready, yes.
At Eric's level, the ball is traveling about 80, 85 miles an hour. Me and Yossi is maybe 5 miles an hour. But there's room for young and old. Actually, Yossi, what kind of age groups do you have?
We have kids from 15, 16 years old to 59.
Now, real quick, you're holding an event in Queens tomorrow.
Tomorrow we're having a
What
big
time?
event. It's going to start at 6. Hopefully we'll be able to finish
Where
today.
in Queens?
Flushing. It's the Parks Department in Flushing, which is right by College Point Boulevard.
All right. Well, thanks for
I want to
coming.
make one comment.
Go ahead.
We're anyone interested in making a donation to the Andrew J. Scholarship Memorial Fund, you can just send a check to, in his name, to our address at 2115 East 35th Street, Brooklyn, New York. That money is being used for Midwood High School boy or girl.
Real quick question. Who's going to win the fight?
That's a good one.
Mayweather.
Mayweather.
Yeah, Mayweather.
All right, Mayweather. I'm going Mayweather also. All right.